What's up everyone, Acid Glow here. With the recent update to Predator Hunting Grounds, there's also been some footage of a new Predator class. As of right now, it seems to be a prize from an online contest. Hopefully, the Alpha Predator will be available to everyone else in the future. There's a possibility that the game will get more maps, skins, and weapons. This design of the Alpha Predator is similar to the one from NAGHASA, but they both took inspiration of the original concept for the Predator in the first movie, until it was changed by Stan Winston, so it's a nod towards a piece of history. This upcoming Predator class has a unique weapon that acts like the War Club. It has the same animation, but it's just a different model. But the interesting thing about this character is the information about the weapon. It says this: once wielded by the legendary Alpha Predator, this sickle was used in the uprising of the Hish against their cruel Amengi rulers thousands of years ago. It seems that this bit of lore was linked to the action figure by NECA to commemorate over 100 different Predator figures by NECA. They took the original design of the Predator and made it into a figure. But not only that, they also wrote up a story for this character. Here's the rest of it. The ancient YAUTJA ancestors, known as the Hish or the Hish, were invaded by a race of insectoids. They were called the Amengi. This took place thousands of years ago on a planet far from Earth. The Amengi had exhausted the resources on their own world. This was due to them pursuing technological ambitions. They were a ruthless, nomadic civilization. As they traveled to many worlds, they would consume anything like a swarm, and then ruling what was left. During the early days of the Hish, they appeared more animal-like and smaller in size, very different from their Predator descendants that we know today. As they lacked the necessary strength and intelligence to withstand such an attack, the Amengi would overtake their world and enslave the Hish for centuries. When the Amengi invaded the planet of the Hish, darkness spread over the land. Their moment of peace was gone. The Hish were enslaved by the cruel rulers, the Amengi. Everything changed from here. The Hish were used for slave labor, food, experiments, and also for game hunting. During some fighting competitions, some combatants became so well known that wagers were placed on the matches. Gambling became an obsession amongst the upper tier of the Amengi society, and so larger species of the Hish were sought out. But to make the competitions more exciting, the Hish were chemically enhanced and trained and turned into effective tools for their owners. As time passed by, the Amengi would rule over the Hish for countless years, but amongst the Hish, one of the largest and most fierce would emerge. Once it reached maturity, he commanded respect and fear from those around him, even from the Amengi. I'm not sure about the pronunciation of his name, but it's either Kaail or Kaail. His name's true meaning is rage. Not only was this beast physically impressive, but it was also unusually intelligent. He appeared loyal to the Amengi and used their trust to secretly pursue his own goals. His plan was to free his people from slavery. Gradually, he would ally himself with other powerful slaves throughout the established territories. While the Amengi grew rich and arrogant, they were unaware of the insurrection Kaail was forming. Because nobody challenged the Amengi during their rule, their armies grew soft and weak. A bloody insurrection occurred at the right time, and the Amengi forces were usurped. Even though the Amengi had advanced technology and tough exoskeletons, their defense had failed them. The mighty warriors they created from the Hish is what overthrew them. Kaail would take a trophy from one of the larger carcasses, and the others would follow him. All that training, all the slavery, the hatred, and the chemical enhancements would create the Predator species. The remaining Amengi would be hunted down, forced into slavery, or eliminated. The technology left behind by the Amengi would be taken by the Predators. Over the many years afterwards, this would form a balanced union between the scientific and the natural aspects of the Hish and YAUTJA culture. This would go down in the history of the Hish to honor the noble tale of Kaail. He is forever known as the first hunter, or the Alpha Predator. This was not the very first time the Hish were mentioned. It actually was brought up in the book Predator Forever Midnight, written by John Shirley and released in 2006. But this was when the predators were changed in many ways. For one, they were now called the Hish-Kuten, which translates to the people who take territory. They had a different honor code in this story. They would attack women and young children, even if they were unarmed. Their attacks were extremely aggressive and overpowering, leaving no room for a fair fight. Any beings that survived would become slaves. They would still take trophies, but knowing their methods, it doesn't seem like it was a well-earned trophy. The people the Hish would attack would barely have any chance to fight back. Another difference here is that as a species, they were now able to change their gender. This change could happen instantly if there was a desire to mate. The clan leader would be the most intelligent of them all, while the other members were portrayed as not so bright. This led to infighting amongst their clans. The medical kit in the movies and games would come with a needle that injected fluid. It was believed to give them a dose of adrenaline, hormones, or even heavy steroids. This makes predators get a boost of power for a short time. But in this novel, it was all produced by an evolutionary organ called the kill gland. It produced strong hormones that drove the predators into a frenzy, and it had to be kept under control with the use of medicine. Instead of relying on their own technological advances, they would scavenge anything they find from other worlds they conquered. This was similar to what the Amengi would do, dating back to the early history of the Hish creatures. Because of these many changes this novel made to the predators, it was not accepted by a lot of fans. The name Hish-Kuten was also seen in Mortal Kombat X. It was one of the 3 variations you could use for the predator. So that covers some lore about the predators. We got to look at their origins, where they got their advanced technology, the history of the Hish-Kuten, the story of the alpha predator, and the novel Predator Forever Midnight. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a like on it. And if you want more lore within the Predator universe, just subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram, so follow me on those platforms. Thanks for watching and supporting my channel. My name is Acid Glow, and I'll see you next time.